The easiest way to get started on your fitness journey is to not go to the gym. Do not go to the gym. My name's Nick, and I've been working out for 4 years. I've done bodybuilding, powerlifting, calisthenics. I've also spent a lot of time talking to newcomers in my gym to figure out what the hardest part of getting started was. And using that information, I've created a strategy that is sure to help you to get started in your fitness journey and change your life in the long run. And it all starts with not going to the gym. Now, that might seem a little bit backwards at first, but before we get to the gym, we need to do a couple things and understand a couple concepts. And then we can apply those into the gym atmosphere and see massive progress really fast. Before we get started, let's address a couple of misconceptions. Going to the gym and working out is not hard. It's really, really not. But there are a couple of harsh truths we have to talk about. That you're not going to see change immediately. You will not see change overnight. Change will only happen with time, effort, and consistency. With that being said, you actually don't need to do that much every day to see that change. You just need to understand that it's not going to happen overnight. Now, with that out of the way, what do you actually need to do? Like I said, we're not going to go to the gym. Instead, we're going to create a new mindset. Now, to create this new mindset, we're going to create a couple of habits which will get us moving and being a little bit more conscious about what we're eating. These two things are going to help you to create a better relationship with movement and exercise, as well as the food that you consume. It'll also help you to enjoy the process a little bit more because it'll feel more natural. Another thing that creating this new mindset will help you with is understanding delayed gratification. Delayed gratification is to essentially understand that the effort you put in now will result in a greater reward later on. When you compare that with instant gratification, which is something that we're generally used to, instant gratification is where you receive the rewards instantly after putting in the effort. I believe that rewards gained from instant gratification are generally less valuable than the rewards gained from delayed gratification. To start the process, we need to make a decision, a definitive decision that you're going to make a change happen, that you're going to start your fitness journey. And to do that, we're going to write it down on a piece of paper and place it somewhere on a surface or a wall that you constantly see. We're going to date the paper, whatever day you're starting your fitness journey, and on it, you're going to write something similar to, I am starting my fitness journey. I will continue to progress and I will not quit. Once you've written these things, place it somewhere that's visible and look at it before bed, when you wake up, whenever you see that surface. The reason we're doing this is so that you are defining the starting point. And when you see that paper, hopefully you're able to hold yourself a little bit accountable and recognize if you're actually doing those things. Now we're going to start building the mindset. We're going to start by creating a habit of movement. The way we do this is by picking a time of day or an event that will 100% happen every single day. And then we're going to add a walk to that time. So for example, if you always eat lunch at 1 p.m., we can add a walk onto that. And the walk will not be long at first, but we're going to make sure we have it locked down so that every time we eat lunch, we also go for a walk. Alternatively, if you have a sporadic schedule, pick a time where you know you're free and set an alarm that will let you know it's time to walk. Now, to start this habit, what we're going to do is we're literally going to go for 5 minutes on the walk. Just 5 minutes. And we're going to do that for about a week. After 1 week of walking for 5 minutes, we're going to double that and walk for 10 minutes. What I recommend while you're doing this is to put on a song and enjoy the process. Enjoy the walk, enjoy the movement, and even tell yourself that you enjoy it. After a couple of weeks, you should be about 15-minute walks. You can continue going if you'd like, but once you get to 15 minutes, just ensure that you're doing it at the same time every day, every single day. What this is going to do is it's going to teach you the habit of being active at a specific time of day, whether the cue is eating lunch and then going for a walk afterwards, or whether the cue is an alarm in your phone, you're going to be used to moving at that time. That's the main idea of what we're doing with this habit. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to address food habits. I don't believe in having to sacrifice fun food just to make progress in fitness. In fact, when I was at my most shredded, my most jacked, I was having cookies every day. I was eating Doritos almost every day. Now, how did I do that? I followed a rule called the 80-20 rule. It's a simple rule that says 80% of what you consume should be positive food, should be healthy food and high quality. And 20% can be indulgent, fast food, candy or snacks or things like that. Alcohol is included as well. Following this rule will help you to create a better conscious habit of thinking about what you're putting in your body. And it also helps you to create a better relationship with food because you're not sacrificing all of the fun in your meals. How do we actually apply this? Well, one of the ways is to get an app like MyFitnessPal and to track every single meal exactly as you have it and to track it portion by portion and write down everything in this app and it will analyze it and tell you what you're eating. I think there's an easier way of going about it. Just write it down. Write down everything you eat at all times and circle the parts that are 20%. So circle the chips, circle the cookies, circle the fast food. And what this will do, it'll help you to become more conscious of what you're actually consuming. And we're going to draw attention to the 20%. The reason we do this is so that we can see how much we're actually putting in ourselves that is not the 80%. Now, if a lot of your page is circled, it's time to start taking some things out until you are about 20% of your page being the indulgent foods. This is going to create a very nice balance for you and allow you to be a lot more conscious about the foods you're eating. And since you're writing it out, you'll be able to see how much you've eaten of certain things. And then you can start to dial those back in a healthy manner, which allows you to still enjoy them. Before we go to the gym, we have to make a plan of what our goal is in fitness. And we need to figure out, based on that goal, what kind of resources we need. So what that means is take a minute and think about what being fit means to you. Some people have the goal of building their body until they have giant muscles and they can look shredded and feel like a bodybuilder. If you're going that route, you probably need a gym. But if you just want to become a little bit stronger, lean, and more comfortable in your body, it's very likely you could build a decent home gym or even just use your body weight to achieve these goals. Regardless, you need to figure that out before you step foot in a gym, because a gym might not be right for you. And on that note, you also want to research the gyms in your area because different gyms have different vibes. I've been to 2 or 3 gyms in my area and they all had completely separate vibes. The one I go to is a bodybuilding gym where people are very social and positive and happy. The other ones I've tried were things like Lifetime and Movati. They're more of a club environment, and the people there didn't seem very forward and friendly, so it was not as social. It's definitely important to understand what kind of gym you're looking to join because the cultures might be completely different. At the same time, it's really important to research what kind of equipment you might need if you want to build a home gym instead. Because maybe just a dumbbell and a bench will get you everything you need. But you might also need a squat rack, and it's important to know that before you go and start purchasing items. On that note, you might not even need equipment to get to your fitness goals. You might be able to do very well with just your body weights and maybe a weight vest to increase the challenge. make sure you understand what you need before you get started and trying to go to the gym. Once you've decided if you need a gym or you're going to work out from home, the next step is to make a plan for what days you're going to work out what body parts. And I would still do this before you actually go to the gym, so you have some sort of an idea what you're going to do when you go there. There's a couple common plans which I'll recommend to you, and I'll give you some very brief examples of what you can do during those workouts. But if you need a more in-depth guide or you need a personalized assistance, I have a community, a Skool Community that I'm going to link down below, where I help people to master themselves. If you need more assistance, check it out, see if it's right for you, and if you join it, I'll be able to help you directly. On to the plans that you can potentially use for your workout schedule. We have something called upper-lower split. What that consists of is one day where we work our entire upper body, another day where we work our entire lower body, and then a rest day. On the rest day, we're still going to walk whenever we would have been going to the gym. This is important to keep the habit going. It doesn't need to be a long walk, it just needs to happen. What do you actually do on your upper day or your lower day? Well, here's some examples. I'll put them up for gym goers and body weight at home. But you don't need to do a whole lot. Just make sure that you're consistent with what you're doing so that you know when you need to improve and when you need to dial it back. Another common workout split is the push-pull leg split, and then you'll rest after those. But this is a good split because you split up your chest and your back movements so that you can give them a little bit more attention. This is the common bro split, but it's actually a really good split, especially if you have gym equipment, because there's a lot of different variety that you can use to improve yourself on those different days. Here are some example workouts that you can do on those specific days to start. What I recommend is definitely figure out which exercises resonate best with you and which ones you enjoy doing the most. Because one of the most important parts of staying consistent in your fitness journey is doing something that's fun. So pick the most engaging, fun, and enjoyable exercises. If you love using plate-loaded machines, then use plate-loaded machines. If you love using barbells, then use barbells. And don't let anybody tell you that it's wrong to do it a certain way. The only correct way of doing it is the way that you see progress. Now that we've started working out, let's discuss what progressively overloading your workouts is. Now, progressively overloading is a term that we use to describe slowly increasing the challenge presented in each exercise to slowly increase your strength over time. What this means is no matter where you start, we're going to pick something, a weight and a rep range that is slightly challenging. Let's say you're doing bench press and you have just the bar, which is 45 pounds. And if you can do that for 8 reps, where we want to progressively overload is we want to add 5 pounds on and lower the reps down to potentially 6. We're going to work on 6 reps until we can do 7 and then until we can do 8. And when we get back up to 8 reps, we're going to increase the weight again. Now you might see where this is going, but we want to keep doing that over and over and over again until we get stronger. That's the main idea of progressively overloading. We're only slightly going to overload ourselves, so we slightly get stronger after each workout. This is going to give you the greatest possible returns with the least amount of stress and fatigue. On that note, fatigue is something we want to manage properly. When you're working out and you're getting started in fitness, fatigue and tiredness is usually the biggest discouragement people face. And if you feel it, it's not a bad thing. It just means you need to work on resting more and eating better foods. When it comes to rest, you need 8 hours of sleep. That's non-negotiable. If you're sleeping less, try to reschedule your nightly endeavors so that you are sleeping earlier so that you can also sleep 8 hours. If you don't sleep 8 hours, you're going to feel more fatigued than you should, and it's going to take a hit on your fitness journey. It might even discourage you enough to quit. and we don't want to be quitters here. Another thing is to eat the right amount of protein. A lot of people go into the gym expecting themselves to grow and be healthy, and they're not eating protein. Protein is one of the most vital ingredients in creating new muscles. In fact, it's most vital to create any new cell in your body. So you need to ensure you're eating the right amount of protein. What's the correct amount of protein? Well, the recommended dosage is 1 gram of protein for every pound of body fat. And if you want to put on a lot more muscle, you need to eat more than that. If you can't eat 1 gram for 1 pound, it is okay if you can reach about 75% of that. That's an acceptable difference, but try your best to reach that 1-to-1 ratio. If you follow this guide and these tips and take your time with them and make sure you learn these habits, you will be able to not only change your body, not only change your mind, but change your entire life. Because what you're going to be doing here is you're going to be teaching yourself how to build habits, and you're going to be teaching yourself discipline. You're also going to learn the best way to go about learning something new in a fun way. And these 3 things can be applied to your entire life in different ways, surely, but they can be applied if you put them to the test. If you still feel like you're having a hard time, even after applying all of these tips, or you just want to improve yourself even further, I'm hosting a Skool Community that I'll link down below, where I personally teach you how to master yourself. I teach you everything I've acquired over the last 4 years of my self-mastery journey, and can teach you directly inside of the community. So if that sounds like something that would be useful for you, take a minute and check it out. I hope you found this video very useful.